Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How are you today? Good? Okay. So today, what is today's date? 15, so fast. Already middle of the month. So, are you all ready for Chinese New Year? Not ready. Whether you're ready or not, Chinese New Year is coming. And that's the thing about life, isn't it? Whether we are ready or not, time passes. Yeah, and soon will be Chinese New Year. I've been wanting to let you all do an exercise, sort of like a reflection, yeah, but in a guided way. So, give you a small worksheet, you know. Haven't gotten to doing that. Maybe next week, huh? Is next week? No, next week. Then it's Chinese New Year, right? Then you see next week only 5% turn up. Everybody run away because there's going to be exercise. Okay, let's see. Who is new on my left? Let me see. Yes. Hello. First time here? Yes. Tell us your name and how you got to know about the group cultivation. Yes, you. Oh, have you introduced before? You look. Huh?
My name is.
Yes, Johan. Yes.
But I was studying overseas, so I couldn't contact him.
Tell everybody your name again.
I'm
Yong Han. Say hello, Yong Han. Come, clap. So are you back for good?
No, just for like the
I see. And how's the studies getting on?
It's not bad.
How is Bhante Panewaru? Oh. Did you get in touch with was it you or?
It's probably not.
Oh no. Did you go to some monastery visit?
Yeah, but I was in Taiwan.
Taiwan. Oh, okay. Who was it who went to Australia? Okay. So you studied in Taiwan?
No, I studied in the US.
In US? Oh, okay. Which part of US? Boston. Hey, is there anywhere near to where Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi is?
Oh, is she the one charged of wisdom publication?
Well, not really a she.
I read the name before, but I wasn't sure.
Okay. Boston. You like Boston? You like Boston? Oh. Okay, welcome. Who else is here for the lady in 2 rows in front of you? Have you introduced before? Have introduced before? Introduced before?
I come to your Heart Sutra.
But this class? Yeah. Yes, tell us your name.
My name is
Li Yun. Okay. And Sutra was quite a while back, Yeah. So how do you get to know about this secret location? Not so secret.
Because we come from the class upstairs.
Oh, okay. And today? Ren Ying class. Okay. Then how come today you're here?
Because no Ren Ying to come.
Oh, okay. Spillover effect. So how many weeks are they having break? Okay. Okay. So they haven't stopped for the Chinese New Year yet. Stop already.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome. Okay, how about my right? How come there are so many empty seats here? 1, 2, 3, 4. One for her. Yeah. Fill up the seats. Yeah. Those behind, come and fill up the front seats. Our Joey and hubby, come and fill up the seats in front. Are you all sitting on the floor out behind? There are empty seats over here. No, front row. Yeah, 2 seats here. Yeah. Got nice cushion. Don't want to sit on the parquet floor. Quack, hello. How are you? Tired, huh? I heard you went on a trip.
Yeah.
How was the trip? Not nice, huh? Tired, huh? Okay. Who else is new for the first time here? No? Okay, I think everybody is season parking holder. Okay, again, welcome to SGC, where we have a bit of chanting, a bit of sitting, and not so bit of Dharma sharing. Today we will cover the remainder of the 5 precepts. We have touched on the precept on lying, the precept on alcohol and intoxicants. This shouldn't be anything new really, because every week we chant that. Yeah. For those who may be unaware, the 5 precepts, Pancha Sila. Pancha is 5. Sila actually has a lot of meaning. One of them is precepts, but it can, according to one senior Sri Lankan monk, he explains that the word Sila actually has another meaning, which is behavior. Yeah, and I quite like that meaning, because then it instead of looking at the Pancha Sila as like, oh, cannot do this, cannot do that, yeah, then you start to appreciate that it is about our behavior, yeah, bodily and verbal behavior. Behavior is about bodily and verbal actions, yeah, and it's about the kind of bodily and verbal actions that is conducive for happiness or not. Then it makes a lot more sense, yeah, and it doesn't feel so stifling, like, oh, you join this club and then cannot do this, cannot do that. Yeah. Rather, it is about becoming more aware and responsible for our actions. Yeah. So previously, we look at lying, and then we look at alcohol, the precept on intoxicants. Today we will touch on, on the first precept, because it's the next one. Yeah. Then we'll touch on stealing. The third precept, nobody voted for it, so we'll not touch. No, we'll still touch on it. So what is the first precept? The precept on killing. Yeah, precept on killing. And of course, customary to all discussion on the precept on killing, we'll definitely talk about our favorite friend, Xiao Qiang. Can you see? 小强 小强长大了这边大强 What is today's day again? 15. The first precept is actually very simple. Yeah, it's actually very, very simple. Basically, don't kill anything. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. But sometimes we do come into situation that compels us, that makes us feel, oh, we want to get rid of something, such as Xiao Qiang. But if you were to spend some time with Xiao Qiang and really, develop a friendship, then you may feel differently. Yeah. Have you ever looked at cockroaches up close and personal? Do you know the cockroaches at home well? Like what are their likes and dislikes? Their favorite hour, the kind of timing that they are used to. What time do they wake up and what time do they sleep? What's their favorite food? Yeah? Now, if you do that, you need to see me after this. You need professional help. Yeah. Most people shouldn't or wouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Well, in Buddhism, we espouses about compassion. Yeah, to be compassionate, to feel, love and compassion for all sentient beings. Yeah. But does that mean that we have to start making friends with cockroaches? Think about it. Should we make friends with cockroaches? But how about our dedication? May all beings be well and happy. Sabbe satta sukhita hontu. 愿一切众生离苦得乐. Yeah. How? Then, yeah, and furthermore, some of you are espousing or aspiring towards the Bodhisattva path. Yeah. So Bodhisattvas are friendly towards all sentient beings. That being the case, then you have to be friendly towards Xiao Qiang also. Huh? How many of you disagree with this, that we should be friendly towards Xiao Qiang? You know who is Xiao Qiang, right? Xiao Qiang cockroach, not Louis, okay? Xiao Qiang. How many of you think that we should not be friendly towards cockroaches? How many of you think that you should befriend cockroaches? Should be distant friend, like pen pal. Yeah? Don't have to be too close. Maybe meet once a week. Yeah. You know how some friends, they want to see you more often than you want to see them. Cockroaches are such friends. Now, jokes aside, if you don't feel comfortable with cockroaches, that's okay. Yeah. Being a Buddhist doesn't mean that you must feel comfortable with everybody. But just because you don't feel comfortable with cockroaches doesn't mean that you should kill them. Yeah, that's the salient point here. We don't have to go from super friendly, BFF with cockroaches, to I have to kill cockroaches. Yeah, there can be a middle ground where you can say, hey, I don't have to always get rid of them. Yeah. In a way, the first precept is as simple as that. But it is there's different levels to the first precept really. The first degree killing is killing of human beings. Yeah. I presume none of you have ever killed a human being before. Don't raise your hand. Yeah. This is the time for you not to be so responsive. No, but has anyone? Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Now just imagine, okay, if when I say, has any one of you killed someone, a human being, and one of you actually raised your hand, how would the rest of you feel? You will feel like surprised perhaps, yeah, scared, yeah. Let's say, Louis, you raise your hand, okay? But we know that you are just raising because Sifu asked you. Yeah, to protect her identity, you have to be honest, yeah? So, yeah, I mean, this is just for the sake of exercise, okay? So let's say when I ask, who has killed a person before? Oh. Yeah. You know, next time on SGC chat when you text something, hello everybody, nobody respond. Hey, I'm organizing a Chinese New Year gathering. Nobody come. Barbecue. Organizing a barbecue. Yeah. So think about it. Yeah. So the highest degree that is covered in this precept is actually killing of a human being. And without even going to the details of who exactly that human being is, I would say that perhaps I would say most of you will not feel comfortable, isn't it? Yeah. So that being the case, yeah, if you don't feel comfortable with knowing that someone actually killed a human being, then why should you be someone who would kill a human being? It's as simple as that. Yeah. In the Chinese text, there's a short phrase, and it's called 自通自法. Yeah. And it's basically the golden rule of whatever applies to yourself applies to others. Yeah. That you should not do unto others what you wouldn't want to be done unto yourself. Yeah. This principle is found in many religions. Yeah. In Buddhism, it applies to human, but not just human. Yeah. But the Buddha did make a distinction that if you kill a human being, it is of the highest degree. You may be surprised that, wow, the Buddha is discriminating. Make a distinction between human and non-human. Yeah, but he does make distinctions. It is not what most of us think. Becoming a Buddhist or being a Bodhisattva or a Buddha, then everything is the same. Equality, equanimity, everything same. No, the Buddha does make a distinction. But the question is, what is the distinction? What is the basis of that distinction? Here the distinction is that a human being has the potential of understanding the truth, understanding the Dharma, applying humanly possible effort, and attaining enlightenment. By killing such a person, you are directly preventing a person from attaining enlightenment, to be completely free of suffering. So that's for that basis, killing a human being is the heaviest form of killing. Yeah. And then within human being, there's further distinction. You kill a human being versus your parents. Killing your parents is even more severe. And then among human beings besides your parents, if you kill an arahant, also ranks very severely. When I say arahant, I don't mean to say, cannot kill Buddhists. You shouldn't kill human beings in the first place. Yeah? But here arahant is referring to someone who is enlightened. Yeah? Of course, some would argue that someone who is enlightened must be a Buddhist. Yeah? Here, we shouldn't be affixed to the label Buddhist. Yeah? Anyone who can see the truth becomes an arahant. Yeah? So what is the big deal about killing a person who can see the truth? Well, a person who has attained arahanthood, just being alive and just going around can be of benefit to others. Yeah. In a couple of suttas, the Buddhas advise those who have attained arahanthood, or those who are going to reach arahanthood, he advised them that they should not quickly attain paranibbana. In other words, once you have attained arahanthood, the Buddha advised, do not simply attain arahanthood and then enter paranibbana, but instead stay on. Why? Because for arahants to stay on in samsara, even for a few days or several years, it would be of welfare and benefit to sentient beings. Yeah. When they go on alms and people offer to the Arahant, wow, much merit. Yeah. And they are living examples of the truth. So if you kill off a living example of the truth, wow, can you imagine how heavy that is? Yeah. So killing, being killing, there's still this distinction. Having said that, again, I must highlight, it doesn't mean that, beyond all these individuals, killing a human being is okay. It's still not okay. But how about non-human beings? Because so far, in all classes on precepts, nobody ever asked, Sifu, okay to kill human beings or not? Yeah, nobody ever asked that. Yeah, we always ask, can we kill Xiao Qiang or not? That's why I write Xiao Qiang up here. I don't have to write Xiao Ming. Yeah, I don't have to write, can I kill a person? Because I think most of us have this, sensibility that we shouldn't kill a person. Yeah, but in Buddhism, we take this further and say we shouldn't harm any sentient beings as well, not just human beings. Yeah, not just human beings. In Buddhism, compassion is not just for human beings, not just for those who are within our tribe, not just those who are Buddhists, yeah, but non-Buddhists also. Yeah, all sentient beings, humans and non-humans alike. Yeah. So there are 5 factors to killing, as I mentioned before. The first is that there is a sentient being. Second, perception of sentient being. Third, arising of the intent to kill. Fourth, the actions taken to kill. Fifth, the result, death of the sentient being. Yeah. Only when you fulfill all 5, then you are said to have committed killing, the karma of killing. Yeah. So it's actually, even for cockroaches or others, not so easy to really commit killing. For example, you are in bed, sleeping, and then, the next morning when you wake up, you find that there's blood on your pillow. Yeah? And you find that there's blood on your hand. Yeah. If you wake up with blood on your pillow and blood on your hand, and you turn around and someone is there with blood all over, well, I can't handle that, okay? But if you find that, as you look at a hand, you find a mosquito, usually mosquito, yeah, cockroaches, I think cockroaches don't really have blood. Huh? When you and then there's all the gooey stuff, but no red color stuff. A mosquito, there's red color blood. So if you happen to, at night, in your sleep, itchy, and you just scratch and you kill a mosquito, but in that state, you are not aware that there is a sentient being. Yeah? And in all likelihood, you didn't have the intent, while you're dreaming, then you are dreaming that you're riding a motorcycle, and then you think, let me reach out in the real world to kill a mosquito. You don't think in that way. Yeah? It's probably more out of reflex, that you kill the mosquito. So there is the act of killing, there's killing itself, but there's no karma, there's no seed planted due to the intent, because there's no intent to begin with. So there are many other cases, but in many cases we do actively do it. So in Buddhism, when we talk about precepts, it is about those cases where you actively carry out an act. You actively sought the death of a sentient being. You see the difference? If you are walking along the park, and because it's dark, and maybe sometimes in Singapore it rains and then there are snails on the road, you notice the difference when you step on a snail or an earthworm, for that matter, versus how you feel after you kill a mosquito or xiao qiang. Most of us, you should tell the difference. When you accidentally kill, you feel very sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of uneasiness. You feel sorry for it. But when you are on a manhunt or cockroach hunt, if you will, yeah, and you kill the cockroach, if you actively kill, why would you still feel bad? You know, yeah. You may not necessarily feel bad, but you may try to see whether there are any escape clause, you know, yeah, through which you can justify your actions. Yeah. So from this itself, you can see the difference, yeah, the impact on yourself. Yeah. If you were to actively sought the death of a sentient being versus if you killed something by accident. Yeah. So that's that distinction. You have a question?
What about the cycle of war?
In times of war.
Like you don't kill the enemy, then
Yes, that's true. That's true. If the enemy is going to kill you, it's either you or the enemy that's going to die. So how? I've shared before about how when I was giving a sharing in RI, and then at the reception I shared with them about how if someone were to come charging at us with a gun, and I know for sure that the person is going to kill the rest of you, and there's a gun in front of us, M16, let's say. Yeah. Now you're using SAR, whatever. Yeah. And since I'm the only one who is trained in it, what should we do? Yeah. For me, I would actually pick up the gun, and as I've said before, I will follow the SAF policy. Yeah. I'll fire a warning shot, and I'll address the person, hot, do not proceed. Yeah. Yeah. And if the person continue proceeding, I'll fire a second warning shot, and I will repeat and say, hot, do not proceed. You will be fired upon. Yeah, if the person after twice and the third time, yeah. In all honesty, I would probably fire upon that person, knowing that the person is trying to kill everybody. I would try to immobilize the person, yeah, not kill the person, but I'm not exactly known for my accuracy. So, how do I make killing a person sound so funny? Or shooting at a person? But let's say it turned out to be a mistake on my part. Yeah, the person was coming at us with, because he was playing Pokemon Go, and then somehow there was this misunderstanding, and because of that, the state find me guilty of manslaughter, yeah, or something. As far as I'm concerned, I would not then say, oh, I was trying to save everybody, come on, chill, Yeah, I would face up to it. Yeah. So in Buddhism, there's no sanctioning of killing. Yeah, we don't justify killing. We don't say, oh, you should not kill, but if then you can kill. No. Yeah. In this aspect, I really appreciate Singapore's public and foreign policy on this. Yeah, we actively try to prevent war. Yeah, we don't actively seek out to have war with others. Of course, if you look at the politics globally, today, very few countries would actively say, "Oh, I'm on this murderous trail to conquer the whole world." Nobody would say that. I mean, even Adolf Hitler had his justification, Yeah. So it's no longer in the past where you are deemed a hero for conquering other countries for your nation's sake. Yeah. So yes, all countries will go to war with some excuse, but what I think most of us can say is that Singapore has this policy of actively trying to prevent war. Yeah, actively establishing good diplomatic relations with other countries. Yeah. But of course, some of you will be wondering, but what if, what if, I don't know, like a few years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, if it's like 20, 30 years later, I think I'll be too old to be called back. No, actually I'm already off the reserve calling already. Yeah, but if war comes, let me assure you, all of you who are past your 13-year cycle, if war comes, everybody is called back. Yeah, no such thing as, oh, you are off reserve. Everybody will be called back. Yeah. I hope such a day will not come. Yeah, I sincerely hope such a day will not come. I've visited countries where it's a bit crazier than how it is like in Singapore. Yeah. I've met people who, I have this student actually whose grandpa, the grandpa told me that he was at the signing of a treaty where that signed, how Israel came into existence? Yeah. So he was actually at that meeting where Israel was signed into existence. Yeah. So I spent some time with that family, and he shared with me a lot of stories and a lot of accounts about kind of crazy decisions, Yeah. So which is why we don't say that war is correct. Yeah. I like what some wise person said before. War never finds out who is right, but it finds out who is left. Yeah. Is abortion considered killing? Good point. Simply put, yes, it's considered killing. Related to this is the question of euthanasia. Yeah, euthanasia. In quite a couple of Dharma discussion, Dharma talks with the varsity, the universities, we have touched on this topic. Yeah. It's a bit tricky when we take the precept by itself, So if you ask any venerables, I don't know of any venerables who would look at a person and say, yeah, go ahead and abort the baby. Yeah. Nobody would say that. But I often tell people, don't be so quick to take the precept and slap people, Yeah, not you, but to be aware of this. Because there are more things beyond the precepts, to consider as well. So for example, a very real consideration for abortion is this. What about unwanted pregnancies? And by unwanted pregnancy is a whole range, Yeah, it's a whole range of circumstances. When we think about unwanted pregnancies, we usually think about, teenage pregnancy, wedlock, pregnancy. But what about those that come about due to rape? Yeah, it's trivial for people to write articles or for a monk to say, you shouldn't kill. But I sometimes ask myself, if I'm a girl and I'm pregnant because of rape, would I actually want to keep the baby? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, still, as a monk, I must say that, killing is killing. No alternative to that. Yeah. But there are a lot more considerations. Yeah. Similarly, for euthanasia, where I've counseled families where the family member is on life support. Yeah. When a person is on life support for 1 or 2 months, and then the person wake up and you have a recovery, or even if there's no full recovery, the person is semi-paralyzed, go for therapy, at least the person is, awake. Yeah, but when the person is on life support for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, up to a year, there are a lot more considerations, such as the financial strain on the family, such as the emotional strain as well. Yeah. So oftentimes, when it comes to matters regarding killing, I often ask people to first ask themselves whether they can live with that decision. Yeah. In fact, for any decisions, any actions, first ask yourself, after doing that, can you live with it? Yeah. Don't ask me about the precepts first. Yeah. Can you live with it? If you cannot live with it, maybe you don't want to do it, or maybe you don't want to get yourself into that situation first. Yeah. In some cases, you can't prevent it, or maybe you should have, but you didn't prevent. So you are in that situation now. Then what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. Then ask yourself, if you are okay with it, how about your family members, your circle of friends, your community? Yeah. And if all says okay, how about the law? Yeah. And if even the law says it's okay, then you look at the precepts. Then you look at the precepts. Yeah. Abortion is not something that we want to treat trivially. Yeah. Which is why it's important to educate. And oftentimes we think of the younger ones, but I think everybody needs to be educated about that. Yeah, to be responsible for to consider that, you know, once you bring a sentient being into this world, you know, then you have to be responsible for it. Yeah. Now there are those who go into the argument of, okay, at the point of being a fetus, can the sentient being feel actually? Can it think? Yeah. If you just end the life, is it, you know, this or that? Yeah. So I must tell you that there are some Buddhist lineages that consider that if it's within a certain duration of the pregnancy, then it's deemed to be semi-okay. Yeah. Yes, semi-okay. Yeah. Yeah. You see, how can you be semi-okay? Okay or not okay? Yeah. So I must first say that I can easily fall back on the precepts and just give you a straight answer: cannot kill. Yeah, don't abort. Whatever it is, you must face it. Yeah, but I must highlight that it's easy for me to say that because I'm not the one who is giving birth to the child, and I'm not even the family that has to face the, you know. Yeah, it's one thing to say Down syndrome still okay ma. You go and look for salon. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, the doctor says that, you know, there'll be complications. Yeah, mama, you know, but you go and go through it lah. Yeah. So I must admit that this is quite a predicament. Yeah. And I will tell you very frankly, for us monks, we have a very easy, you know, standard corporate tag: do not kill. Yeah, panatipata, vairamani, sikapadam, samadhi, amitofo. Not to make a joke out of it, but you know what I mean. So oftentimes when people do come to see me about such matters, I don't just say, okay, I heard it already. You know how many cases I handled? Okay, don't have to discuss. Cannot kill. Go. Next one. Any other problem? No. Next. Okay. I rarely do that, if ever. I almost never just tell people. I have never just bring in the precepts and say cannot. Yeah. Because I have come to realize that yeah, it's really a difficult decision, you know. Do you know how many people I've counseled that even eventually when they do go ahead with the decision, you know how much of grief and stress, yeah, and it's not about what people say, less about that, but their own guilt, you know. Yeah, so it's bad enough, like you don't want to further like, bad person, bad. I told you not to. Like, yeah. So I would sometimes, I would say, I think I shared previously about this family where the daughter was in coma for a year, yeah, in life support for a year. And when I went there, I told them that, well, in the case of coma, sorry, it's a little bit different. Because the point about a person being in coma and in life support is that if you pluck the person off life support, the person on their own simply cannot sustain their life. So I asked the question, 100 years ago there's no life support. The person would have died on the spot, wouldn't have lived for one more year anyway. Yeah, in the Buddha's time there's no such predicament about life support or not, because there was no life support. Now it doesn't mean that you have an accident and then your family member should say no life support for you. But I can go to hospital. No, Sifu say 100 years ago no life support. You know what I'm saying? So where do we draw the line? If the person can recover, yeah, after some definite duration of life support, yeah, give and take a few more months, you know, thereabout, yeah, and of course, in the case of such medical conditions, consult a doctor, yeah. Now, so this is what I shared with the family member, that while there is the question of when a person is in life support and in coma, has the person really passed away? There's always this question. Yeah. So I share with them very honestly, unless a person has the divine vision, yeah, develop the psychic power of divine vision, and can observe the mental formations directly, then the person can make a call, okay, has this person passed away? Because even Venerable Ananda make the wrong call. Yeah, in the suttas it states that Venerable Ananda, when Buddha entered fourth jhana, yeah, well, he was going to pass away, but haven't passed away. Venerable Ananda thought that he has passed away. Then Venerable Anuruddha said, no, the Blessed One has not passed away. He has entered fourth jhana. And according to the commentaries and texts, Buddha was waiting for Venerable Mahakashapa to arrive. Yeah. So in a way, that was one of the first record, the first account of this misdiagnosis in a way. Yeah. So if you ask me, yeah, I still haven't have that ability to observe, Alaya consciousness, has it passed on or not? No, I cannot tell. Yeah, but what I can tell you is, each day when the daughter is on life support, each day the father and mother grieve. And each day the sister is living an imbalanced life. Yeah. I didn't advise them to then just kill the daughter. I didn't ask them to take a chopper and chop her up. I say, well, as far as I'm concerned, if you pull her off life support, you're not really killing. You're not actively killing the child. Then I lead them to do a prayer, and in my mind, then prayers to the Buddha and Bodhisattvas that if this child's lifespan has come to an end, then let her, go on to the next life or something. Somehow, a few days later, the counselor called me to tell me that the daughter, just maybe a day before the actual date, the parents ultimately, after the discussion with me, they decided, okay, pull her off life support. But one day before doing that, somehow developed complication and passed away before they could unplug her. Yeah. So, yeah, it's never easy. You know, it's never easy. Yes, quack.
You see, every day you have been bitten by mosquito, and then big bites, very itchy. And then every day you have to apply antiseptic cream. That's like you suffer. So I only kill one. I cannot see them, I only see the bites.
Oh.
But I saw one, I killed.
Oh, so you killed one. So are you?
Every day you have been bitten, so it's so itchy, and then you go on. You don't know what to do, but you can't see them.
You can see them.
You still cannot hear.
But you managed to kill one.
One day, you came to the room there, then I saw that killed.
Wow.
Then you suck all my antiseptic cream.
It's tricky, isn't
You
it?
say don't kill.
Well, I mean, I have to tell you not to kill. The rest of the world are really telling you to kill. If even Shifu tell you, yeah, go ahead. What's going to happen to this world, you know? I was just sharing with somebody the other day about killing cockroaches, and it can apply to mosquitoes as well. Yes, it is quite a predicament, isn't it? Yeah, to kill the mosquito or not to kill the mosquito. Yeah. Killing the mosquito, in a way, is an easy solution. Although mosquitoes can be quite difficult to kill as well, but it is. Yeah.
Inside you also, you don't know where they are.
Yeah, but you managed to see one.
I saw one.
That mosquito damn sway. You cannot see mosquito and then the mosquito fly in front of you and let you kill.
Only one only.
Only one.
Yeah, like the sway one.
Amitofo. I have been bitten by mosquitoes. Yeah. In fact, recently there were some mosquitoes in my place. Yeah. And
So every day, you know?
Huh?
Every day.
Every day, huh?
Itchy, you know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, we all know how it's like to be bitten by mosquitoes. It's itchy. It's,
My antiseptic.
yeah. So, but the point is, so when you encounter a mosquito, don't face them on the camera. But how many of you have this urge to kill a mosquito when you see one? I mean, be honest about it. If it bites you. Okay, let's go through the cases. If the mosquito does not bite you, just getting along with their life, you know, going to, I don't know, Central Square, whatever, you know. Yeah, just flying along, getting on his business, going for Tao Pasat or whatever, you know. Would you have an urge to kill the mosquito? Well, some of you, yes, some of you, no. How about if the mosquito then do a U-turn and fly towards you? Has not bitten you, but shows interest in you. Would you then kill the mosquito? How many of you would kill?
Swipe.
Okay, how many of you would kill? And how many of you would swipe? Okay, very good. Now, say you were not successful. Yeah, the mosquito managed to dodge. Yeah, and then managed to fly close to you. Yeah, like the Star Wars, you know, flying the death trench. Stay on target. Yeah, and then managed to give you a bite, a sting. Then, what would you do then? How many of you would then smack the hell out of it? Okay? And how many of you would just brush it off? Now, brush it off, then smack. Oh, so for some of you, you have a 2-strike notice. Yeah. So the first bite, you have a free bite every day. You give out a free bite. Yeah. You notice that there's no unanimous agreement on what, the way to handle it, the degree. Yeah. Some of us may be more generous to give 1 free bite a day. Yeah. But how do you determine that it's the same mosquito? Yeah. Or maybe 1 bite per day for all mosquitoes. So the next one will come, sorry. Yeah, redeemed already. It's like, when you go out, right, and then there are those charity drive with a sticker, and then you show the sticker. Already donated. Yeah, I put 10 cents just now. So some of us may be more generous. Yeah, after putting one coin, then the next person will come, no problem. Come, put another coin. So likewise, there are those of us who are a bit more generous. 1 bite, no problem. Come the second time. Yeah, you didn't have a feel. Come, ask your brother to come along. But why do we kill actually? Now, if your thought is, let me kill the mosquito so that it doesn't spread the Aedes virus, it doesn't spread the dengue virus, and so on. Raise your hand. How many of you actually kill with this thought? Let me kill the mosquito so that it doesn't spread the virus.
I was not thinking of that.
Ah,
Very itchy.
very itchy, right? Yes.
Stretching away and then,
And you use all your antiseptic. Yes. So. Yes.
And then use another tube.
2 tubes. No wonder you have to kill it. Okay, so very quickly, how many of you would kill mosquito thinking that you are doing everybody a favor, that you are trying to prevent the spread of some viruses? Couple of you, okay? And how many of you would kill like the way Quack does? That it's like just very fed up, making me so itchy, and then you just piak. How many of you? Just now those who were piaked. It's more than this, So what are the other reasons?
To protect the loved ones at home. Like in office, I won't kill, I will just let them kill us.
To protect her identity, that statement was not made by. So in the office, it's okay that they bite others.
Human beings, if they want to.
You mean at home it's not human beings?
I mean in my room, but in the living room, never mind. But in my room cannot have any insect because.
Okay.
The rest is like.
This is. Put up a sign.
Yeah. No, just like even I see cockroaches at home, I won't touch them. I'll just throw away.
At home, you won't touch them.
Even at home, cockroaches, right? I will try to take a plastic bag and then let them go out.
Oh.
Until one day, my brother told me he saw cockroaches in my cat's bowl. There's a cockroach here, right?
In your cat's bowl?
Whatever I see, I kill. But before that, we were living okay until the cockroach go inside the bowl. They just cannot take it.
So
It is the protection that is very strong.
Yeah, so consider this. When we see a cockroach or a mosquito, we have a choice to make, to kill or not to kill. Yeah. Think about it. Today that cockroach or that mosquito is in your life. And you make the choice to kill the mosquito, to kill the cockroach. We may well be a mosquito or cockroach in somebody else's life. I mean, we are all human beings here. But imagine if to somebody else, you are like a cockroach. Would you want the person to have a bit more consideration before killing you or not? As much as we are human beings, and the person is also a human being, but if we are like a cockroach in their life, yeah, because sometimes, I mean, the fact that you want to kill a cockroach is because you don't like the cockroach, isn't it?
Sometimes not, don't know, it's out of fear, the cockroach keep coming.
Okay, so it could be out of fear or out of dislike. Yeah. So whether it's out of fear or out of dislike, we kill the mosquito, we kill the cockroach. Yeah. So what if we are also disliked by somebody else? Would you not want that person to maybe have a second thought before killing us? Yes.
Ants. Now I'm talking about ants.
Okay. Who else want to talk about ants and spiders and lizards and?
It's like every time I want to clean the house, I want to vacuum, but the ants keep crawling all over the place. Then how I don't vacuum?
So ants are the scavengers of the natural world. They give you a free service. You know, Sembawang Corp, you have to pay them to come and clear your trash. Ants clear your trash free of charge.
Yeah, because they always drop the food all over. So the ants a lot, they come. So when you want to vacuum away the food, the ants are all there. Then I try to chase it, like let the ants go away first before. But they don't want to go. They just keep.
Of course, they don't want to go.
Yeah, because the food is there, so it's like how?
Because there's food there.
That's why I keep thinking vacuum or not vacuum. How?
Okay.
Because you drop sweet thing or
Yeah, or food stuff.
Yeah, because you have kids
Yeah.
at home, it's usually like that.
So how? Your fault, you know. So there are many ways to deal with the dropping of food. Yeah, it is still possible. Yeah, you can actually just either take a brush or a tissue paper to just move around there, and the ants will scatter. Then you can remove the don't take a vacuum cleaner. Vacuum cleaner is aerial effect, you know. You know, the 15 cm vicinity, all the ants.
Like even empty cups also.
Yeah.
No, like empty cups we put in the sink, right? Then before you want to wash it out, it's all filled with ants.
Yeah, so don't put in the sink.
Then
Just wash
you
it.
try to shake the cup and let the ants go
Yeah.
away, but they don't want to go. So it's like how?
Yeah.
Cannot wash the cup for how many days?
Yeah. Well, I completely understand your predicament because I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen that before. Sometimes the ants just come without anything there. So for myself, yeah, I don't say that you must do this or any of you must do this. But for myself, what I do instead is, in a way, the ants have taught me discipline. Yeah, that I should be disciplined enough to wash my cup the moment I finish them. That I must not drop food around. If I do drop, then I must expect that the ants will come. And if the ants come, then I cannot invite people over and then after still try to kill it. Yeah, but it's your choice. Yeah, it's your choice. Just remember, ants will not harm your kids.
Yeah, so that's why I always try to chase them away,
Yeah.
but they don't want to go away. But for me, it's because we use dishwasher, so we don't wash the cup immediately. We accumulate, then we wash, put everything into the dishwasher.
I see.
Put in the sink, and then after that.
Then how that's why there are ants now. You know, a dishwasher is useful if you have a lot of dishes to wash.
Yeah, so we accumulate.
So if you don't have so much dishes, then you just wash one at a time, two at a time, count it already, ma.
We always accumulate for one whole day. And
Yeah.
then put
Okay.
in the
So
dishwasher.
okay. Now the mystery is becoming clearer. Okay, let's go through this sequence again. You have dishes, you accumulate, and then ants come. And then, yeah, whose fault is that? It's not a fault that you use dishwasher, but if you choose to accumulate, okay, let me tell you one lazy tip from the monk. Sometimes when I'm like, let's say, have to go out for a talk and I just finished my drink, I don't want to let people wait for me, then I'll just put it in the fridge. Yeah, the empty cup, I just put it in the fridge. If not, the freezer. Yeah.
I don't put dirty dishes in the freezer.
Wait. You cannot just say cannot, then just move on. You must justify why you say cannot. Think about it. Let's say this is the dish, okay? This is the drink that you are drinking. You just finished. The fact that you just finished is not dirty. It's dirty only when you want to compare it with a clean cup. Think about it. When you are in a restaurant and you finish your food, right? Just a few seconds ago, you were just eating from that. So it's not dirty. It's still not dirty. It's dirty only when you leave it out there and it start to decompose and, cockroaches come around, rats, and so you finish, you can put it into the fridge, no problem. No, I'm not saying that that's your first option. I'm saying if you somehow want to accumulate, then you accumulate in a place that is airtight. Yeah?
But how about the vacuum? It's like...
Wait. Do you agree with the part about accumulating in an airtight space?
Okay, I tell you how I do now.
Oh, you already have a solution then?
No, for the washing part, so what they do is every time they finish breakfast, they put in the sink, right? I will fill it out with water before the ants come. I fill the dishes with water.
But wouldn't the ants come? No, these ants are crazy, No, the ants nowadays, they're crazy. They will come and swim,
Yeah, sometimes they will swim across the water.
So if you don't put water, you just have ants. Yeah, but
that was before I see the ants, I will fill up with water. So if you want to suicide, I cannot do much. But of course, it's better than without water. There will be a lot of ants. So if with water, maybe 1, 2 ants.
So there's a reason why there are ants, because you let it gather. Okay. Then
so
what?
if I fill up with water, usually I don't get ants lah.
Okay.
But then the floor, because I only vacuum once a week. Every time I want to vacuum, but there's a lot of ants all over, and then they keep running around. I don't know how to vacuum.
Try this. Try arranging a schedule with them. Like, I tell them that you're going to vacuum like on Monday, and then tell them to like keep out on Monday.
Like, can you all go outside first?
Yeah, like guys, come on, move along. Like Monday vacuuming. Remember the memo I sent out. In all honesty, there are some articles and books that they talk about how there are success stories, of people who make mental determination. Yeah, and the insects, they actually respond to that. Yeah, it may take more than one. It's like your child, you tell them once, they don't listen. Must tell, don't know how, a few hundred times, then they move. So why should we expect anything different for insects? But the one thing that I'm more concerned about is whether we go about killing things, whether insects or cockroaches is an insect, yeah. Whether we just kill without consideration, or do we try to not kill? To me, that's the first step. And then to ask ourselves, would you feel comfortable with someone who is ready to just kill anything that they don't like? Because today the person may be killing an insect, but if this kind of attitude is allowed to accumulate, then says a lot about the compassion the person has for others, isn't it? Yeah? Yes?
How about smoking?
Smoking?
Smoking kills.
Smoking kills.
People around you, and then of course the smoker.
Ah. So should smoking be allowed? Kill the smoker, says Louis. Yeah. So if you ask me, you notice that for those who actually talk to me, I never go around asking like, are you a smoker? Why are you smoking? Yeah. For me, as far as smoking is concerned, I'm like, that's your lungs. You are filling up with nicotine and tar and whatever, you know. Yeah. I'm perfectly okay with having devotees or friends who are smokers. The only thing I ask is, don't smoke in front of me. Yeah.
But the notion of smoking is a suicide. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a suicidal thing. Suicide does not go well with this.
Oh yes, it doesn't go well. Except that when people smoke, unless they smoke with this mindset, how do they do it? Oh. Then let me die with this cigarette. Unless you smoke in this way, otherwise it's not considered suicide. Yeah, it's just a collateral damage. Yeah. So most people when they smoke, they are not thinking of dying.
But they would have known that smoking leads to killing of themselves.
Smoking increases the chance of lung cancer.
Correct.
Yeah,
Which leads
but it doesn't directly kill you. Yeah, it does increase your chance of lung cancer by a lot, like a lot. Yeah. So notice that for the precepts, it is undertaken voluntarily by the person. That you undertake the precept to abstain from killing. So, but that's a very interesting point.
So someone who has taken the precept,
Should the person still smoke under this precept? Yeah, this is very interesting because most people will highlight cigarette smoking under the 5th precept and not under the 1st precept. But that's a very interesting point. Because if you think about it, as much as it doesn't directly kill you, it does promote your death.
and the smoker themselves, I'm sure they know that it leads to.
Yeah. So do you know of any person who has taken the precept? No, huh?
Not personally.
Okay. So in this case, not a good thing to smoke to begin with. And given that if you smoke, most people are not like me. For me, if a person sit down with me and start smoking, I'm like, do you mind if you don't smoke in front of me? I'm a monk, what do I care, you know? Yeah, but for most people, you're too nice to say that. How many of you would actually, like, if your friend sit down with you in a cafe and then just take out a cigarette and start puffing, how many of you would actually speak out? This part all like Sifu, this part mostly not. Yeah. So half of you would actually speak out and say, excuse me, excusez-moi. Yeah, please don't smoke in front of me. But close to half of you would just keep quiet. You would walk away. Would you say anything before you walk away, or you just just move away? It's your friend, you know, you meet your friend for lunch, your friend sit down and then friend. So for you, your friends, you will tell them to stop lah. Okay. So we can't change the world, we can't change people, but we have the right to ask people to respect that personal space as well. If you want to smoke, fine, go to a smoking corner, please, you know. I wouldn't do that lah. Yeah, it's your choice. You want to burn money away, that's your choice. Yeah. Sorry, someone, you raised your hand just now.
Everyone very secure to lose.
Yes.
I think I learned from all these certain things once our parents.
Yes.
Because of that, so they died. So what will come to me is like killing the own parents. So it tells me
Ah.
I think what you say is right. Then I start to when I keep my face clean, then I see less and less all these
Yes, yes.
enough to make it.
Yes.
And so the one hand, I mean, I say, cut, rolling there, wash, rolling there.
Makes a difference. It's true.
And it seems like also someone where I learned from Dharma say that as you kill more of these pests, you create and give more comeback.
More comeback.
So it's like,
Yeah.
so I told all the it's like,
Ah.
and I see it improve a lot.
Wow, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. It's heartening to hear that some of you actually try it out. Yeah. If you compare the two choices, one, I continue, the way it is, and then have the predicament of to kill or not to kill, or you try to keep the place clean. Yeah. And it's not just 1 or 2 days, because they will still, most of the insects are scavengers. Yeah, so they will just go back to the same spot to look for food, even after there's no food for a few days. So you must give them some time to come to the point where they say, okay guys, I think this place is quite clear. Yeah, I cleared it like 3 times already. Then they will really stop coming. Yeah. So if we do that, then it actually prevents them from coming at the first place. The sutta that our brother mentioned earlier is the Mata Sutta. Yeah, from the Samyutta Nikaya. You can search for it. Literally means mother. Yeah, and the Buddha shares about how you cannot find any sentient being who has never been your mother before. Yeah, given how we have been going through samsara, endlessly, since beginningless time. Yeah, so you cannot find any sentient beings who has never been our mother. Yeah. So in some lineages, they have this expression, mother sentient beings, to treat every single sentient being as like your mother. But of course, physically in this life, you only have one mother, father and mother. But how we are all related at some point in our life. That's a very helpful reflection. For some of us, it may not work. Yeah? If it doesn't work, then you just consider, in future, if you are a mosquito, would you like people to give you another chance?
There's another, those are metta sutta,
Uh-huh.
which is related, right?
Yes.
They spoke about how the monks went into the jungle
Yes.
and they start contemplating, and how the snakes and the creatures won't come and harm them.
Yes. Radiating metta to sentient beings, truly wishing for them to be well and happy. Yeah, there's a bit of a joke about this practice. Many meditators, when they go to retreats, then when mosquitoes come, then they'll think, may you be well and happy. Go away. Yeah. Yes.
I used to, I like不需要带这种神奇，他们
走
不要还有这样。
哦
Once I then this mosquito land on my head. Before I smack it, but later now I start to be so conscious.
Oh.
Yeah. After that, chanting, I tell Buddha, just now 什么时候 then 教菩萨教的众生不需要众生 don't stay in my house. Is it correct? Can I say that?
Well, you can send in your request up to the Buddha to process it.
But ants I really cannot
Mm.
kill. It's too small. I try to catch them out. I cannot say all.
Okay. ants, it is still possible to save them even if they get stuck with water or what. If you want to remove ants, we have talked about prevention. Yeah, but when the ants are already there, as I've said, take tissue paper and brush it around. The tissue paper is soft enough, it doesn't hurt them, but it will get them to move away. Yeah.
Just once I saw my sins, because I have 2 toilets, so I started maybe once I go there and cut them.
Okay. Right.
So I just use water. Then later I saw a bit more. I save about 4 or 5 tissue paper and bring that out.
So you see, actually a lot of this, if you think about it carefully, a lot of this is our preoccupation with cleanliness. That we like to see, I mean, who doesn't like to see the table being clear, you know? But what if now there's water here? Right? It is a fixation that we have about our environment, you know. We feel that it must be a certain way. We feel that it must be a certain way. I mean, think about it, a sink. A sink is supposed to be wet, but we like it to be dry. We don't want ants to be inside. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So if your handphone is there, your handphone cannot touch water. Fine, take your handphone away. But when it comes to your sink, yeah, it's okay. I think there's this thing called surface tension thing, so it prevents it from. My point is not you in particular, but I want you all to, because many times about the teachings, right? It's not just simply telling you can kill, cannot kill, then just go and do it. But the thinking behind is even more important. The thinking behind the killing or not killing is even more important. Yeah. Think about it. Like the case our sister mentioned, Rosie? Yeah, okay. I asked the last time. So Rosie mentioned about ants in the sink, right? So you think about it. Is it terribly wrong to have ants in a sink? I have, and to be fair, I have faced this predicament before. Yeah, ants in the sink, literally lots of ants. I know. Huh? It doesn't matter how it come about. Yes, we are now at the point where the ants are there. Yeah, so don't care how they come about. The point is, yeah, I have had this reflection before, and I asked myself, is it so wrong to have ants there? You know what I mean? To really ask yourself, what is so wrong to have ants there? I'm not suggesting to grow an ant colony there, you know, yeah, but to be more accepting of other sentient beings. They will go away. Yeah. Now, sometimes, to be fair, let me also tell you, there was one time I had this old notebook, 7 years old. So I replaced it with a new one, and I just left it on the chair. Somehow the ants decided to start a nest in the computer. And because I didn't use it for maybe 2-3 months, I didn't realize until they are firmly established. So one day I was like, what should I do with this old computer? Maybe I can like clean it up, clean up the hard disk and everything, and then I can maybe give it to somebody else to use. I opened up and I saw small little white color ants, which is the baby ants, you know, crawling all over. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. That is where I draw the line. You all have to draw your own line. Yeah. For me, that's where I draw the line. I say, no, you cannot stay here. Yeah. But for me, the other part of the line is where if you just come around to drink some water, yeah, help yourself to it. You know, I left something here and I didn't care about it. You are now having a feast of it. You invited to have a potluck over here. My fault. You finish the food. You know, yeah. But if I didn't invite you over and it's a computer, there's no food there, you go and set up a whole ant colony, that's where I draw the line and say, no, you're going out. So I moved the whole thing out. And I was still trying to like, okay, let me just shake them off. But they went into the hard disk, they went into the motherboard, like because the computers have many layers, right? The motherboard, wow, they were having a good time, you know, like multi-terrace house. Yeah, so yeah, I have experienced all that. But still, I would say that is the only point where I say you have to go. Yeah. Beyond that, I want you all to go back and think. The next time you see a cockroach or an ant, ask yourself, why do we feel so much aversion towards them? Part of it is actually our education. We have been brought up to look at them as pests. As pests. Yeah. You go and look at aborigines. Aborigines don't go around removing ants because they accept that that is part of nature. Yeah, that's part of nature. Again, I'm not suggesting that we should live with ants crawling all over, you know, and then like, don't open the third drawer are for the ants and the cockroaches. You know, I'm not suggesting that. Yeah, but I think we can be more accepting and accommodating when some ants happen to crawl past, you know, here and there. Yeah, when a cockroach appear, you know, on some days, just say hi, you know. Yeah. I hope today's sharing has given you more clarity on the precept on non-killing. Yeah. About bed bugs. Bed bugs. Change the. Yeah. Okay. Bed bugs is one issue. I heard you have to change all the beddings. Yeah. You cannot. You think you fumigate and that's it. You just need one pair or a couple of them hiding somewhere. They'll be back after a few months. Yeah. There are some conditions for bed bugs to arise. Yeah. If you have pets, that's one source. Bed bugs. I know how bed bugs can be very bad. Because I went to this family's place before and they had bed bugs. And one day I was sitting there and I saw something. Hey, is it my eyes? Like, I look carefully. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? Yeah, I was like, I don't see I thought it was mosquitoes, you know. Yeah, it turned out to be bed bugs and it's, wow, then jialat. Yeah. But if you ever encounter bed bugs, you have to in all likelihood, remove the whole mattresses, bedding. Those that you want to keep, you have to wash and really sun it and dry it, yeah, and then observe for a few months.
Because they suck
Yeah.
blood. So one day I press it and got
Mosquito or bed bugs?
bed bugs.
Why do you encounter so much things? Yeah, I have not encountered bed bugs really in my life at home. Yeah, somehow. Yeah. Again, there are some ways to prevent it. There are some ways to prevent it. Yeah. But yeah, in such cases like bed bugs, you instead of getting some people coming in to kill them, you might as well just remove the whole mattress. Yeah. So I hope that the sharing has brought more insight into it. And again, it's not simply about not killing. It's about why we shouldn't kill. Yeah. And also to consider what are the circumstances when we are compelled. We feel like, and to ask ourselves, when that happens, is our mind in a wholesome state? Yeah. Is it filled with love and compassion, or is it filled with some kind of discrimination, some kind of aversion? And sometimes our aversion may be unexplained also. So think about it. Should some sentient being die because we just happen to feel a certain way in an unexplained fashion? I would think not. No. Put our palms together.